Tanner, you ready for the show?
Man, you know I am, but
I know you are. I'm ready for the Redskins game this week, bro. What you doing for the game?
Well, you know I be in studio, man. I got pregame this week and Redskins overtime.
Messing up, man. I keep trying to tell you to come over to the crib. You know what I'm doing, right?
What you doing, bro?
The Paisanos BOGO deal, man. Buy one, get one free. You already know, Tanner.
You know that's my cheat day.
It is? Well, then you gotta come through. Use the online code Redskins on the app or online. Boom, baby, let's go.
As long as you got pepperoni and sausages, baby, I'm there.
Not just pizza, but something for everyone. Paisanospizza.com. This is my Paisanos dance.
Coming up on the Santana Moss Show, I take a trip out west, y'all, and back to Fredericksburg.
West, y'all. Tanner, you think if I start eating right now, I could play offensive line for the Redskins?
Dez to the Saints, and we're going to tell you if they're going to be winners this week.
And, of course, as usual, because my man loves them, we talking LeBron James.
Bryce Harper turned down $300 million? Is he serious?
And who's taking L's this week, Tanner? You know what? Never mind. Don't answer that. You guys keep watching. You're going to laugh. That's all I'm going to say. The Santana Moss Show podcast starts right now.
It's a Santana Moss Show. Number 89, hustle all the time. Travis on the right, hot mic on the left. Every single week, it's a lyrical fact.
Where's my snare? Santana Moss Show podcast. Travis Thomas, Santana Moss. Santana.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How you
sir.
doing, Poppy?
So, yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
So, my brother?
You know, we got our ass kicked, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, be like that sometimes.
It was
man.
bound to happen, right? We were on a good run. Everything was going good. And that seems like every now and again, that's when you get sucker punched.
Yeah, you get sucked in and, man, you start believing and
It
you
happens.
start drinking the Kool-Aid.
You think that's what happened?
I think it happened to me. I was a believer. I was a believer for 5 minutes.
I know.
Boom.
I know.
Everything went left.
Maybe the slice of humble pie is good. We'll see. We're going to Tampa now. We'll see what happens. So we'll get in that game in a minute. But what's been up with you since the last show, bro?
You know me, like Wardo.
Grinding.
Where have I been?
Grinding.
Where have I not been? Last week was action-packed as always.
Yep.
Had a lot of fun. Last week I took a trip to Cali. I went to L.A. I got a little biz going on up there.
Business.
A little business. I just got a little business I just started with a couple of friends. Medical, and I ain't gonna finish it.
Up in Smoke Tour coming at you.
And it just opened last week. So I went and checked it out. Left Friday, flew back here. Besides that, I had appearance in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Okay.
I was on a show, Tony McGee's show. He's a ex-Redskin, former Redskin. He actually is the sideline judge. He's the guy that, for all my career, you know, as a Redskin, he was the guy that walked up and down the sideline and told me if my socks wasn't right, you name it. Hey, it's crazy because Tony has always been a great guy.
Yeah.
And when I saw him on the sideline, for some odd reason, I just always had a bone to pick with him. Like, man, get that damn dude, man, gonna tell me my socks too short. Or tell me my pants showing my knees or something. But great guy. He has a show that he does. He normally does is at Geico headquarters. And, you know, this is like my 4th or 5th time doing it. Every year I do at least 2 of them. This week we did it in Fredericksburg at Geico. And Fred Smoot was on board.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And, you know, we got to get Fred back on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
We talk about it so much. But it was a great show. And I warned those guys, look, Fred's going to come here and turn this thing out. Fred was late, and I'm glad we waited on him because he was the only one who was late. I was in the area. I stayed in the area, so I was able to, you know, knock the show out and still get to my other gigs. But the show was great. Geico staff is always, you know, they treat us well. The show is one of those shows to watch. It's called Redskin Magazine, I believe, and it was me, Gary Clark, Fred Smoot.
I like Clark, too.
And we had one more. I forgot his name. D lineman. I always forget his name. I always get him. He's either Charged Man or one of those guys, but I don't want to get too long on him. But Fred stole the show, like, as always. But besides that, man, you know, that's what I did. That's what I did before I got to my normal gigs, and you know how that goes.
See, what I like about you is something we have in common is we hustle. You know what I mean? You never sit still. You're always doing something. You're always trying to better yourself. Same thing as me, man. Working a lot, TV, radio. doing a little things with Podcast Village. Shout out to the team.
Yes.
So loving life, man. You know, just working hard. And I'm glad to be back in here doing this, though, because I thought about you after the Falcons loss. Because we didn't get to do the show together that day. We do a lot of Redskins programming together. We didn't get to work together that day. You were the first person I thought of because I was like, you know what? I wanted to ask you if a loss like that is maybe a blessing in disguise for the Redskins.
You know, one of the things that I can say or speak on when it comes to just a loss like that, it's not a blessing in disguise. I believe that if you look at how this season's panned out thus far, it's been up and down. But then when they really found their, you know, what's going to allow them to be special, they kind of rode that for 3 games straight. And now you brought back down to reality and say, okay, is it the reality of this is the team we are?
Right.
This is really our makeup. This is who we are. Or is it if we don't go out there and pay attention to the same thing that we paid attention to, you know, for those weeks prior, and the way we got our victories prior to this loss, we could become this team. I just don't see the team that can really say, this is who we are. You know, I watch a lot of football, whether it's college, whether it's pro, and you just know what you're going to get from the New England Patriots. You just know what you're going to get from the New Orleans Saints. You just know what you're going to get from even now you can say the L.A. Chargers. Like, certain teams find their niche, and they go out there and they play that way.
Their identity.
And they find their identity, and not even just finding their identity, they find a way to climb the ladder on being better at what they are.
Right.
And who they are.
They play to their strengths.
I haven't seen the Redskins take a grasp of that or put a grip on things of who they are. You're special in the run game. You're special on defense, especially up front in that D-line. You're special at stopping the run. You're special at not turning the ball over. And those allowed us to be victorious 5 of the 8 games that we played, you know, so far this year. So why aren't we building on that and being better? You know, this point in time in the season, you're supposed to look better, and it seemed like they took a big step back.
Do you feel like the Falcons game, though, was tough to do those things in particular because they got down early? Like, you can't necessarily run the ball in a game you're down 2 scores, can you?
And you're right. You're right about that because that's the first thing that everyone spoke on is like, well, Jay Gruden said it himself. We got down and we couldn't find a way to.
Right.
You have to understand that it's going to be games where you're not up. And it's going to be games when you're not, you know, you're not playing your best, but you have to claw yourself back into it,
right,
and show that you're a contender. If you can't win games because you're down, then you can't win this league. You can't be a postseason team because it's going to be games where that team jump out. That team just have the better 15 plays lined up or designed for the first half. And it's going to be moments like that. We haven't seen this team yet take advantage of a moment where they didn't come out playing well. You know, it's always been all the wins have come from them being up, and you can't say that you're going to be one of those postseason teams or a team that we can consider being one of the better teams in this league if you can't play from, you know, being down. And right now, the Redskins haven't found a way or found a solution of coming back and taking over games.
You know, in the media, we say that next man up word or phrase a lot. So I want to ask you as a former player.
Yeah.
Damn near everyone on the offensive line is out for the season now. Paul Richardson's out for the season now, wide receiver. I just feel like, is the next man up thing a real thing amongst players? Like in that locker room where people are like, oh, hell, we in trouble. Or is it truly, hey, next man up, we got to get this dub, let's go?
You know, to be honest with you, there's some guys that's sitting there waiting for opportunity.
Right.
There's a lot of guys that's waiting for opportunities. But there's some guys that's sitting there saying, you know what? When I get this chance, that guy who gave me this opportunity, you know, I feel bad for him because he's not going to get his spot back. Or he's going to have to fight me every time when he decides that he's healthy enough or when he comes back or when he's allowed to play, he's going to have to fight me for this job. So I do believe in that next man up, you know, thing. But I just feel that, you know, you have to own it. You know, whoever you are, especially right now, dealing with some of the injuries that we have at the offensive line, we have 3 guys, I believe. 3 guys that's down right now. One of them that could be coming back. And then you have another one that went down that he comes back every week, but he goes down a lot. So you have to have a guy or some guys that really, you know, take heed to that notion of saying next man up. You know, hey, next man up. No, next man. I'm not just filling in this void for this game. I'm feeling this spot to say that, hey, I want to get comfortable here. I want to be able to say I'm putting enough work in, and I'm setting my resume up for whether I'm either going to be a long-term backup here or a potential starter here or elsewhere. And when it comes to dealing with what we've been dealing with the last few years, I don't see enough of those guys. So I'm hoping that right now with what we have going on with, P. Richardson gone, I feel like Mo Harris can fill in that void.
I
feel like Mo can fill in that void. But the only thing I worry about with Mo is that he's a guy that a lot of the production that he's displayed this year has been out of the slot.
Right.
Crowder will be back soon, and they're going to probably have to move him outside. Can he give us that same production from the outside? I think he's a hell of a player. He's one of the guys that I've been rooting for. So I'm hoping he can show that he can balance both of those. Offensive line-wise, it's going to be hard to replace Trent. Ty Nsekhe, he's a guy that's been in that that spot. He's done well. But then you have Brandon Sheriff down. You have Sean Laval down.
Jeez.
Brandon Sheriff and Trent are your Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
So how are we going to possibly be the run game or be the running team that we this year have formed and say we can move forward with these new guys? And especially for this upcoming week, we're going to have to bring something to Tampa more than what we showed against the Falcons, because if not, we can easily see these guys put up 30 points on us and we don't even look like a contender.
I'm glad you brought Tampa up, because I will say this about you. You have been consistent about the Bucs all season when we make our picks. And, I mean, you've said, look, you like Fitzmagic, right? So, and you've also said Jameis Winston shouldn't be the starter, and you've been right on that. So we're going to get Fitzpatrick or Fitzmagic this week, you think, against the Skins. Who are we going to see? Because they're two different guys, if you ask me.
Well, you gotta look at how things been panning out for the Redskins throughout the season, and then you gotta look at what's been going on with Tampa. The Redskins has been playing well when they get out the quarterbacks that hold on to the ball.
Yeah,
defensively. So if Fitzmagic or Fitzpatrick, whoever shows up, hold on to the ball, might be a long day for him.
That's true.
If he's not getting rid of that ball right now in a timely fashion, it's gonna be a long day for him. If they take any piece from the Colts or the Falcons game and say, hey, we're going to come in here with these crossing routes, these slip screens, these wheel routes to our running backs, just get the ball out of their hand now, letting these guys do their thing. One of the things about playing them already should be a scary moment, just knowing that Deshaun's coming out licking his chops. He's that kind of guy. He's one of those guys that anywhere and everywhere that he's played, he has his day against his old team.
There's a word for that. Petty.
Yeah. He looks forward to those matchups.
No doubt.
He looks forward to those matchups. So you've seen what he's done to the Eagles every year. He finds a way to get in that end zone. He finds a way to dance and do his thing and short his stuff. And I believe that you come into Tampa, he's going to look forward for that. Secondary-wise, I had a lot of confidence going into this game until now hearing that Dunbar might not be available. I'm not sure. Just from what happened to him last week and knowing that injury is pretty serious.
That's a big loss if not.
You have to worry about that, and he has to make sure that he's available for, the later game. So not knowing what he's going to be doing, it's going to be it would be a long day if we don't take advantage of the guys up front.
Sure.
And to me, that's where we win games at. I think we win games in the trenches on both sides, offensively and defensively. And these guys can go out there and put the pressure on Fitzpatrick, not Fitzmagic, because I don't want to see no magic.
We don't need that.
Then we should have a good game. If we don't, it's going to be a long one. Because this team has also showed you that they can play when down. They can play from behind.
Yeah, they can.
It's time and time again I've seen these guys they're being beaten by 20 or plus points, and fourth quarter they down by 3. They're down by a touchdown, and they're driving to score to win the game. So these guys are scary. And we talked about going into the Giants game about traps. We didn't talk about the trap game really was the Falcons game. Now here you have another week. This could be another trap. This could be another trap, because yes, their record might not say that they're good, but they've shown week in and week out they can play with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, offensively they have weapons for sure, and you're right. You always see them sort of backdoor cover against teams where they come back and they make the game close. I'll say this feels must win to me in a way, because if you think about the injuries now, right? You're 5-3, you're leading the division, but man, the Eagles are right on your ass, right?
Yeah.
So I almost feel, and you still play the Eagles twice, so I almost feel like these are the kind of games where you have to get a win. the Redskins are point blank better than the Bucs. That's all there is to it. So to me, I almost think you treat Fitzpatrick like you do an Aaron Rodgers, or like you do where you try to keep them on the sideline, right? Mm-hmm. You run the ball, you play ball control, you don't turn the ball over. So I think if they can do that and get back to, as you said, that identity, I think the Redskins should win that game. Yeah. But if they go out there and they play out a character and they play anything like they did against the Falcons, I agree with you. I think they're in trouble, and it could even look like the Falcons game because offensively, you can compare Tampa and Atlanta.
It's going to be a true test because now, like you said before, we have to replace linemen.
Right.
You know, that's been our strong suit on offense, and running the ball has been everything for us. Passing the ball, we've been scratching our heads all year. And now we saying to ourselves that you're going to bring in a makeshift line and say, you know, AP, be productive. AP, go out there and show us what you got. I think we have to be a little more creative on offense.
I agree.
You know, with what we have, because now you can't just line up anybody and say we're going to do the same thing. No, you have to bring in a CT from time to time. You have to bring in a Bibbs from time to time. You have to allow AP to, you know, sustain his health, because he's one of the guys that you want to rely on late down the stretch, because he's shown you and proved to you that he can still play this game at a high level.
Absolutely.
So you want to maintain that, not just, you know, put the whole burden on his back. So you trickle in a little of those guys that can be special, and allow the offensive line that you have to, you know, you have to add those pieces of the puzzle in. Allow them not to have so much pressure on them. You know, keeping a double tight end set at times on certain formations. I would love
to see that more.
You know, switch it up. You have two outstanding tight ends. I know they're not the best blockers, you know, and
throw to them.
Throw the ball. You know what I mean? Put them in the game on special plays, and even with the chips and stuff you do with the running backs. I mean, just find a way to be creative enough to allow your offense to be efficient. And at the end of the day, long as you get the W, that's all that matters.
We're on the same page there. All right, so the Saints bring in Dez Bryant. Were you surprised by that? That's a guy we've talked about on this podcast a few times. You know, where's he going to end up? He turns down this place. He turns down that place. Well, he ends up in New Orleans. What do you think of that?
New Orleans. It's very interesting. You know, the first thing I read about Dez and the Saints is that they've been watching him from day one. He's been on their radar from day one. And, you know, sometimes we say it's a perfect time for everything, or, you know, it's a time and place for everything. I think it was perfect timing for what's going on right now with his addition, or him being an addition to their offense, because of the guys they have down.
Right.
You have a Ted Ginn that's on IR. You have two young guys. I don't necessarily know their names, but their production hasn't been up there. Mm-hmm. With what you've been seeing from Kamara, you know, Ingram, Thomas, you only can say that, you know, each week one of these guys are going to get taken out of the game, far as you know, schematically.
Schemes, yeah.
And you're going to have to find another guy some way, somehow. And what better guy out there that's a guy that's been proven to go out there and be efficient with veteran quarterbacks? Dez Bryant. You know, I thought Dez, coming into this situation, when I heard about it, I scratched my head a little and say, they might have done something there. They might have done something, because if you look at who's been their beast mode in the passing game, is Mike Thomas. Mike hasn't outran anybody. He just shows you that he's gonna
hands, route
you up, catch everything thrown your way, and score touchdowns. And I give a nod to Sean Payton, for one, being the offensive mind behind all that stuff that's been going on offense with him and Kamara and Ingram. And Ingram just got back. He still haven't got himself really, you know, involved as much as he probably would like, you know. But Mike has been doing a terrific job. And you say you need a counterpart. You go out and get Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant has showed you and proved to you time and time again that he can run some of the better routes. He's not a fast guy either, like Mike. He's not going to probably separate all the time, but he make tough catches, and he's shown you that you could throw the ball up to him in the end zone and he comes down with it.
Breeze is accurate
time
too.
Again. So with having a Sean Payton offensive mind and having a veteran quarterback like Drew Brees, which, you know, Dez have shown he can work well with veteran quarterbacks like a Romo. Romo, I believe Romo is the reason why everybody's down on Dez, because when Dak had to be his quarterback, you have a young guy there. He don't know how to get the job done with what Dez assets, allow him to do.
If you're not butt naked wide open, he's not going to hit you
He's
up.
not going to hit you and show you how to back shoulder and put the ball high because he knows you're going to go up for it or give the ball to you now at your break.
Right.
Young guys don't do that. They don't know that. They don't know that much of the game or what role that plays in your game, so they don't know how to, be that efficient at times. And I believe Drew Brees does a hell of a job at what he does. That's why those guys, they roll in new guys every other year with Drew, and you see those guys be great. All the receivers that he ever thrown to has been great at one point in time. And there's no question why you see a Mike Thomas doing what he's doing. And also with the receiver coach that Dez is going to be now taking lessons from. He's my receiver coach in college, Curtis Johnson.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, too, I believe that you get a Michael Thomas as being efficient as he is.
Mm-hmm.
You watch his routes alone. His routes alone has shown me so much. Like, I'm watching how he's getting inside of guys and the guy have his arm on him and he's slapping the arm off and showing you that I'm going outside and then bringing it back inside. We learned that in college.
He's a big cat,
We learned this. CJ, CJ has been one of those guys. He's a receiver whisperer. Like, he just know how to get the best out of you.
Yeah.
And so
he's a good player himself.
Yeah, if you watch these guys from years ago, if you watch Mike from years ago and watch him now, you can see the difference. You can see what CJ has brought to his game. So I'm loving what I'm seeing when it comes to what they're doing on offense. And I think it's a great addition bringing Dez in, knowing that these games are going to be very critical down the stretch, and you're going to need a counterpart to what Mike is doing in the passing game. And it's what better guy out there that's sitting on the couch than Dez.
No doubt. All right, well, let's go rapid fire through these games. We'll start with the Saints. Saints at Cincy. Not expecting to see too much Dez this week, obviously, but who do you like in that game?
Saints and Cincy. Cincy, one of those up-and-down teams. Saints. I think Saints been on the road, 7 games in a row?
Yes.
This will be the 8th one.
I'm taking the Saints in the Queen City as well. Falcons at Cleveland. Poor Browns.
As much as I want the Browns to be better, and then, having that they gave Greg, that he has a chance to really put his stamp on, how he can be as a head coach.
Bounties everywhere on everybody's head.
It's still Falcons. Falcons is not that good of a team this year. They looked great against, the Redskins.
Yeah, they did.
They're not that special, and it's sad to say that they're not with what they have on offense. But
right.
Falcons get the job done. Falcons win.
Falcons costing me a lot of money this season, so I will not be betting on them, but I do think they'll win this game. Lions at Bears. Oh, my. Who do you like?
Lions and Bears. Lions, if any team's up and down, they just got rid of Golden Tate. Oh, my God. You finna leave everything on my man Marvin Jones. He can't do it by himself. The quarterback have shown you time and time he can't get the job done. The Bears win. Bears is up and coming. So
I like
win.
the Bears.
Yeah.
I like the Bears at home. I like the Lions to cover. Cardinals at Chiefs.
I need to say more. Chiefs.
You're right. Let's move on. Patriots at Titans.
Patriots and Titans.
Oh, you're thinking about this one?
No, because Vrabel, he's a guy that been there, done that. A hell of a player in this league. Knows what Belichick and those guys are going to bring. He's going to be ready for him, but Tom's going to kick the fight out you.
I was ready to say.
Knock it out you. Throw it out you. Belichick and his mad scientists of coaches is going to find a way to get James White off and all those other guys. Man, Patriots win.
Well, I thought for 1 second you was about to pick the Titans. Me and Lil beat your ass was about to cuss you out. All right, let's go. We already talked the Redskins game. Let's go Bills at Jets. Who you like?
We haven't talked the Redskins game.
Oh, you want to? You want to go like that?
Tampa.
No. Oh.
Hey, sometimes they say when you're a betting man, take your heart out of betting. Take your heart out of it and make the bet. So I took my heart out of it. Y'all know where my heart at. But Tampa wins.
Oh, man. A summons of power.
They'll beat your ass.
Beat your ass. HTTR this week in Tampa Bay. Let's go. They got to have this one. I'm going Skins. Bills at Jets. What a terrible game.
Oh, my God. I'm glad it's not a Thursday night or a Monday night.
That is awful.
Jets win.
Jets win.
And then I think, too, Sam Darnold is down.
Oh, is he hurt?
He's hurt. He was in a walking boot.
Oh, what a horrible game.
So, no, the backup might be what they need anyway. I think the backup has been doing a lot of coaching.
I don't even know who their backup is. Who even cares?
He's a veteran. He's going to get the job done.
I'll go Jets. Bills to cover, though. Jags at Colts. What another awful game.
It's an awful game because you don't know what you're going to get out of the Jacks. But Jacks win, man. I think they have what it takes to stop. That Luck got to run out sooner or later. You know, he's been playing very well. I think Luck has been playing better than what people expected, you know, for his first year back. They still haven't been getting the job done, you know, as a whole. But Jacks win the game.
I'm going Luck at home there. Chargers at Raiders. Chargers, right?
Chargers.
It's not even waste time. Poor Oakland. Seahawks at Rams.
Say
it. Do it.
They had the Rams, though. The Rams win.
Yeah. All right.
Rams win.
Agreed. You almost went Seahawks, though.
I did because they tough at home, and I had to listen to where they play.
It's in L.A. Dolphins at Packers.
Discount double check. See, that's one of the reasons why.
Got to get back on track.
That's one of the reasons why, you know, the Packs haven't been doing that well. You've been seeing all these commercials from, you know, Aaron with this them and
the agent.
The agent.
I want to punch that agent.
He got to get
face.
back to discount double check.
Yeah, you're right.
When Aaron was putting that belt on,
you're right, bro.
That's when they was beating behind. So you know what?
You're right,
Aaron. If you're listening, get back to discount double check. You know, y'all left that guy hanging, man. He's out there somewhere.
Yeah. And get that fake ass Jerry Maguire out of here.
Yeah, get him out of that. Agent sucks.
Cowboys at Eagles Sunday nighter. That's a good one.
Philly special.
Yeah.
Philly special.
You know what's weird?
I want me a steak and cheese from Ishkabills.
See,
I'm gonna take a ride.
Me off
I'm gonna take me a ride on my cheat day, and guess what? I'm gonna call you and see if you're available, and we're gonna go to Philly, South Street, and get us a Ishkabills steak and cheese.
You know what pisses me off about Tana and this Ishkabibble? Is it called Ishkabibble?
And it's gonna be all up in my braces because I can't even eat bread like that, man. I had a bison burger the other day from Ford Workers. And the bread was just all in my teeth. And the lady was in there talking to me. And I was like, I didn't even open my mouth because I knew the bread was just sticking all out my braces. But, yeah, Ishkabibbles, man. I'm going to see you soon. I'm going to take me a ride down to Philly on South Street.
I was in Philly, and I was asking Philly people what's the best cheesesteak. And the only consistent answers I was getting was Jim's.
And Geno's.
South Street. Geno's or your spot.
Ishkabibbles is the best.
And so I went to Jim's because where I was staying was like close to it. And sure enough, I get back. I'm telling Tan about my trip, and he's like, "Did you go to Ishkabibbles?" I was like, "Why you ain't tell me that before I went to Philly?"
Hey man, Ishkabibbles.
By the way, I'm looking on my phone for the Monday night game because it got cut off on the sheet we have. It's a waste of time.
It's
Giants
49ers
at Niners. What a waste of my data to even look that crap
up. It's crazy because I will. You know, Giants are in our division, so I would like say that they're better than the 49ers, but I think the 49ers will win.
You do?
49ers, yeah.
I don't even care about that game, so I'm not going to make a prediction.
Niners.
All right, let's go wrap it here. LeBron James is happy about the All-Star Game selections now will be televised. You know how it works in the NBA, right? 2 leading vote getters for the All-Star Game. They're voted team captains, and then they make picks like you're on the playground hooping it up, and now it's going to get televised. So to me, it's much to do about nothing because it basically just means we get to see who gets picked last in the All-Star Game, a.k.a. Al Horford. Right? Can't you see Al Horford sitting there like, yo, no, go pick me? And then LeBron's like, all right, Al, come on. I guess you can play on my team.
I guess it's good entertainment for anybody who pays attention to it. You know, there's a lot of people out there, social media-wise, that, you know, love to follow certain guys. And I'm pretty sure the Currys followers and LeBron followers will be all tuned in, which they have a lot.
Telling them who to pick.
They have millions of followers. So with that being said, you know, I think ESPN or whoever's going to, you know, host this thing, it'll be good for them. It'll be something good to put on air because they're going to have a lot of people watching. It's around the time that, you know, when basketball, what more could you do? What more is not done to me when it comes to what they've been doing? They've been the one thing that when it comes to different leagues, you know, you have football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Basketball has tried to, you know, take on whatever the culture has been begging or asking for. Whatever the culture is thirsty for, basketball has tried. You know, they've changed the shoes, allow the guys to change the shoes up. Football caught on and say, hey, let these guys paint their shoes and do the same thing too. So when it comes to hearing about this, you know, last year it was done privately, you know, and we heard about it. It'd probably be something good to, you know, watch, you know, that particular night if you had nothing else better to do.
Yeah, I just literally want to watch Al Horford get picked last. That's all I care about. Tana, Bryce Harper turned down the Nats, 10 years, $300 million. What do you think about Harper?
I just think it's so unique that you can turn down $300 million and just feel like hey, it's going to be something more out there.
Keep that $300 million.
It's going to be something more. You know, I'm not interested.
Gosh, man, $300 million.
To be honest with you, you know, and just, you know, talking up with you guys, it was mostly because of terms. You know, he's a guy that I think highly of when it comes to what he brings to the game offensively. I think it was just basically, you know, he wasn't appreciative with what the contracts. You know, the terms
there were no
opt-outs.
Yeah,
the ops and all that stuff.
And he thinks he can get more money, Tana.
But how much more?
I know. Look, I will cut somebody to the white meat right now for $300. $300 million?
$300 million, man. I'm coughing tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be about 2 years before I can get back right.
All right, I want you to taking L's this week because you got a lot going on.
Taking L's, man. So, look.
Start from the beginning.
I had a beautiful week last week. Like I said before, I spent a little time in LA, you know, watching one of my little ventures take off, and on my way back. So I had a bunch going on. On my way back, I texted my barber and I said, "Hey man, I'll be in tomorrow morning, Saturday. I need a cut." And he told me, "Oh, I'm in Virginia Beach. I normally cut your hair from this point and that point, so I thought maybe you weren't gonna need one." First of all, I don't have a day set when I get my hair cut. All I do is hit you up and I say I need a fresh one, or I need to be available. So you need to be available. So that started off my whole trip back home from LA to DC. I'm saying to myself, man, I don't even have my barber in place.
You gotta be on TV.
I was already told that I'm going to be on a different show this upcoming Sunday. Tana, you're not going to be sitting on the couch with JP or my man Trav or whoever was going to host our Redskins overtime show. So you can't wear your cap. You're going to need a fresh cut because you're going to be on pregame and postgame at the stadium, suited and booted. So I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm woofing, beard woofing, hair woofing, everything.
Wolf season.
I need a cut. So I'm texting him like, look, bro, you just F me up. I'm so pissed off right now. I'm out of body. I get back in town at 5:30 in the morning, took a red eye. I'm out of body. And I get frustrated fast, man. One of the things about me, man, I'm 0 to 60 real quick. I'm either down to earth or I'm either in your ass, and God forgive me for saying what I had to say, but sometimes I'm that guy.
You a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini. I didn't want to go there.
That's what it is.
I'm a Gemini. So I was in that mode, and the guy heard it. He heard it through my text. You heard what I said?
Oh, yeah.
Heard it through my text. So he's telling me, I got a barber. You gonna be Gucci. I got you. I don't like everybody in my head. You've been doing okay, even though, I care less about how much skills this guy got. I don't like everybody in my head. So long story short, I already been too long. I go to a new barber. First of all, he skint that thing. He had me so right.
Yeah.
He had me so right. I walked out of that thing like, woo, tomorrow I'm finna bring it on the pregame show, postgame show. I'm feeling good, looking good. So he had the nerve, so my normal barber had the nerve to text me or call me. He called me, say, hey, man, I want to make sure everything all right. I say, boy, you might have lost a customer.
Uh-oh.
Because your boy just did me. He told me, all right. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just telling you.
Should have been there when I called you.
My coach told me that a long time ago, man. Always be available because you never know.
You right.
That guy that we might replace you with might be our permanent replacement.
Sure,
so,
for sure.
Don't get me wrong. I like both of them, but now I know I can pick and choose which one, if somebody ever, find or comes up missing. So that happened. Boom. Sunday comes, and I'm at the stadium. I'm at home. Getting to watch this game. The Redskins is on an all-time high, 3-game winning streak, and I get out there on the pregame show, and I'm feeling good. The only thing that bombed the whole entire show was it was freezing. I prepared myself to have my scarf. I haven't worn this scarf and this glove and this Scully set yet. It was given to me on Christmas as a gift, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? Tomorrow's gonna be my day. I bring this out. Right. So I sent a text out to the producers. I'm like, look, is it gonna be cold enough for me to wear a skull cap and a scarf? No, the sun is out and you're going to be okay.
Oh, that was your first mistake.
We get up under this little thing, and it's like a windstorm just coming in from off the field, and I'm sitting there the whole entire show, I'm shaking. Like, if you can see me right now, I'm talking to you, I'm looking into the camera, but my legs are rattling right now. And everybody around me can feel it, and they looking at me, and I'm uncomfortable because I'm talking, and I'm like, I'm trying to keep calm, but my legs is rattling. And so pregame, I was cool because that was getting into the game and very prepped. The
sun was out.
Sun was out. Yes, I was cold, but I was able to handle myself well. Postgame, they lost the game. That's one.
That's terrible.
I walked around the entire stadium the whole time, didn't pay attention to things that was going on.
And watch it the way you wanted to.
And then I had to get up there and talk about the loss.
Oh, Lord.
And now the sun is dropping.
And you're shivering and shaking.
Man, look here. That's an L. That's an L.
That's an L.
I took it. And to tell you the truth, I had a time in my life just being on a pre- and post-game show for NBC. That's something that I've always wanted to do. And just to have the opportunity to do it, I was privileged. I was up for the challenge. I was ready. My cut, I was almost doubting that I was going to be able to, come there and be right. Because, Prime said it best, man. You look good, you feel good, you go out and play good. So at that moment, I feel like everything was lined up after I got the cut. And then I get out there and I'm cold as all outdoors. But, adding to everything that went on with the climate and everything, the loss just, put the whole,
it did. It put a damper on it.
The biggest damper.
I'll say this, though.
Dampers.
I'm only going to give you a lowercase L for taking L's because, yes, you were cold. Yes, you even got sick a couple days after that.
Yeah, I was sick on
Monday.
Monday.
But I will say this. Your cut, though?
Yeah.
You was sharp.
I was sharp.
You was good.
I was sharp.
You was good.
They be seeing me with that hat on. They be like, boy, tell them never show that cut. Then I'll get that.
By the way, for those of you who are confused, let me just help explain some things. A black man and his barber's relationship.
Ooh, yes.
I mean, that brother there is your therapist, your barber. He's everything. That's why Tana took it so damn personal when he wasn't in town. What you mean Virginia Beach?
What the hell you doing?
What the hell you mean vacation? Family time? Yeah. This is hairline time.
Yeah.
I have a very close relationship with my barber because if this does not stay bald, we have a George Jefferson situation, and I refuse to go on television with the George and Wheezy. I can't do it, Tana. So I got to keep it, I call it the Vin Diesel. You know what I'm saying? Living life a quarter mile at a time.
Keep that thing Ajax clean.
Got it. You said Ajax clean. You know what? This is a good time to wrap it up. Santana Mall Show podcast.
Which one you want?
Just follow us.
It's a Santana my show. Number 89, hustle all the time. Travis on the right, hot mic on the left. Every single week.